Well, I'm delighted to say we're joined now by the 2015 world champion, Stuart Bingham. And Stuart, obviously that first round game against Ashley Carty coming through 10-7 in the end. Were the nerves jangling at any point?
Yeah, definitely. All more or less all the way through the match. I felt good, obviously, at 5-4 to go 9-4. I felt really comfortable. Felt like my games clicked, and but the interval can change, can swing a few games, and it may probably give me time to think how well I was playing. And I've got sort of one hand into round two, so the memories was coming back from previous year, being 9-4 up on dot and only winning 10-9. So it was definitely memories back of that.
There's one specific incident that we want to discuss, and obviously we can laugh about it now. You're safely through to the second round, but there was that black that just kissed off the red and looked to be dropping. For all money, looked to be dropping, and you couldn't kind of believe it. I mean, I said to Hector Nuns that your reaction will be making gifts for weeks and months, I'd imagine, because it was a very funny reaction. It just didn't seem to go down. It was like physically not possible.
Yeah. No, I thought I hit obviously the black good enough off the red, and it seemed to sort of just roll back from the pocket. And sometimes it happens. Obviously, the table fitters, when they pull the cloth, sometimes it might leave a little ripple or could have a bit of material underneath that just makes it do that. So obviously, as you say, we can laugh about it now, but at the time I was sort of distraught.
Obviously, this year is very, very different. Obviously, we've got a Betfred World Snooker Championship on, but you've been in a strange position because you'll have played with both the crowd and without the crowd at this year's competition. Obviously, your first session had a couple of hundred people in the auditorium, and then you played with it totally empty. What was the difference? The main difference that you saw in the two sessions?
Not sort of much really. Obviously, it was good to play in front of even 100 people. It was good to come out, but just little differences. Sort of normally coming out from an interval, you get a round of applause, but even nothing, even with 100 people there. So it just felt a little bit empty. And then obviously the second day is very sort of echoey, with no one in there, and it may probably just help me focus a bit more. When it was sort of 100 people, you're sort of looking around and you sort of how surreal it is. But when there's no one in there, you can't look at anything. You just got to try and focus off. So I think it helped me really in the end.
For those who've never been to the Crucible, it is a very small arena. We mentioned how iconic it is and how close the crowd is to you, especially when it's a two-table setup. Obviously, we're not going to have that this year. You're going to look around and it's going to feel a little bit bigger, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I'd say every day is different. It's just going to be weird, I think, all the way through. It's just say I'm itching to get back there, even say with no one there. So I'm say obviously, not sure what to say to that. To be fair.
Looking at what we've seen so far, obviously yourself, world champion, Judd Trump, world champion safely through, Mark Williams, world champion safely through, John Higgins, former world champion safely through, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Without there being a crowd there, is it even more daunting for these, maybe the debutants or those that haven't gone all the way?
I say I felt maybe probably a bit sorry for Ashley that he ain't experienced the crowd. Hopefully he qualifies obviously next year or the year after and experiences, because like every snooker player, you've got to experience the crowd there. It's second to none. Well,
Mark Williams awaits in round two after 6 successive frames against Alan McManus last night. He contemplated during lockdown, he said after his match, he's contemplated retiring, but now he has committed to playing it until he's 50. So it's like a big pressure lifted off his shoulders, and obviously you're going to face him in the next round.
Yeah. He's a few of the players have mentioned about obviously retiring, but I suppose the lockdown have brought it home to a lot of people that you sort of when you can't play snooker, what are you doing? And when you've been doing it for 30, 40 years, you ain't really got much of a life outside of snooker. So he's obviously done a full roundabout, and he's going to play snooker as long as possible. But yeah, I'm expecting a good game. We've had some good battles in the past, and sort of hopefully it'll be a good game for people to watch.
I think you were happy with your first round performance per se. Where do you feel your game is right now compared to 2015?
Yeah, it could maybe probably sort of like 21, 14 points off of 2015, but it's there in bits. Obviously, the sort of first 4 frames of the morning session, the second day, that's sort of what I can play like. But obviously, the other part, it was a bit scrappy, and that's maybe what's happened more maybe the last year or two. So yeah, it's in there. It just maybe takes a couple of more frames to get out.
And just a final question for me, obviously, it's a very strange time, a strange year without the crowd, you say, being there. But regards the testing, World Snooker and how it's been organised in the Crucible, I mean, everything goes swimmingly for you from in that point of view?
Yeah. Say the people running the game and what they've done to get people in the first place has been absolutely outstanding. Barry Earn, obviously Jason Ferguson, all the team behind the scenes that what they've had to go through to try and get people in, and obviously it felt a bit like taken away, but it is what it is. We're in a bit of a strange world at the moment, and it's sort of thankfully the tournament's still on, so obviously people can still watch on TV.
Well, sure. Thanks very much for your time, and best of luck in the second round of the rest of the tournament.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Betfred, proud sponsor of the World Snooker Championship.